anything can happen on the road. There's room for both funny and serious situations, unexpected turns, mishaps when things don't go as planned, and epic moments that leave you in awe. In this collection, you'll see how a single wrong move can lead to a hilarious scenario, or on the contrary, have serious consequences. Get ready for incredible moments and stories you've never heard before. We promise you won't be bored. Unfortunately, no one is immune to situations like this, which is why knowing how to use a fire extinguisher is so important.
And they explode. Kicking off. Well done.
Looks like a real-life Batman has appeared somewhere in the world, and this Batmobile is definitely racing to him. This woman's dramatic reaction to the accident speaks for itself. At least in this car, you don't need an air freshener. The air is always fresh in there anyway. This traffic officer definitely didn't expect to be approached by a giant superhero cat. Maybe the driver was trying to bypass the traffic jam, but he only made things worse. Every racer suddenly tensed up because a true legend just hit the road, Lightning McQueen. Transporting cargo of this scale is a huge responsibility. Tasks like these should only be trusted to the best professionals. You don't see something this massive on the road every day. It's scary to imagine how much fuel this beast consumes. How surprised would you be if a nearly full-sized airplane sped past you on the road? I wonder who's behind the wheel of this tiny car. Apparently, he doesn't really need that door. Any mistake behind the wheel of a fuel truck can lead to tragedy, especially when making such maneuvers. Without snow removal equipment, roads turn into snowy traps, but standing too close while it's working isn't the best idea. Judging by the wheels scattered on the road, someone ahead had to make a sudden stop. Winter roads are already dangerous enough, and adding reckless drivers makes the situation even more unpredictable. Not only did they not bother to find a pedestrian crossing, but they also aren't in a hurry to yield the way. Driving in heavy rain is already challenging, but the situation worsened with the collapse of a power line. The witnesses of the incident are not wasting any time while the driver tries to explain to the clients what happened and why the goods won't be delivered. By sheer luck, the truck driver avoided injuries and prevented a serious accident on the road. It looks like he's not only doing his job exceptionally well, but also genuinely enjoying it. This wild tire has broken free and is now causing chaos on the road.
What a twist! Haven't you expected to see this either, have you?
The chances of continuing to drive disappear the moment the road spikes appear in front of you. Clearly, someone made a mistake and ended up on the wrong side of the road. It seems like this wheel is searching for someone who could make use of it. The danger of flooding is compounded by the fact that the most unexpected things can be hidden beneath the water's surface. An unusual way to unload a boat, but at least it ended up in the water. Due to the driver's negligence, a real automotive centipede has formed here. There are cities where car drivers encounter traffic jams far less often than scooter owners. I wonder if he realizes that he should probably rush to the service station. Instead of properly repairing the road, they tried to create the illusion of safety. Seeing a plane gives hope to those running late that they might still catch their flight. Many of those currently stuck in traffic likely bought a scooter specifically to avoid situations like this. When it comes to car commercials, it's always important to think critically. Some features and capabilities can only be assessed from a certain perspective.
To be honest, I'm speechless after witnessing it. What about you?
A rare case where the driver decides that their errands are more important than road safety, a bold move, but definitely not the wisest decision. After parking the car by the roadside, the driver was sure it was safe. However, someone clearly didn't share that confidence. It seemed like he was just heading home, but this trip had something much more dramatic in store for him. It might seem like being inside a car means you're safe, but even from here, this crocodile commands respect and makes you want to keep your distance. These sheep are clearly not fond of the idea of parting with the car, so they found an unconventional way to keep it. Is this a way to attract attention, or are rides on such an unusual vehicle just an everyday thing for him? Such an oversized load is impossible to miss, and transporting it requires exceptional expertise. Why rent a truck when you can just load everything onto the roof of a regular car? A roadway is not the ideal place for catching ducklings that have started scattering in all directions. I wonder if this road user is following the rules or doing everything possible to prevent an accident from happening. Unfortunately, the bridge left him with no chance of making it through without damage.
There are things that are absolutely impossible to believe, and how could this even happen?
It looks like he wanted to turn his car into something like a trolley bus. Even if a car can move on water for a short time, that doesn't mean it has become a submarine capable of crossing this path. Here's one reason why it's so important for municipal services to trim tree branches hanging over roads in time. A lack of parking spaces pushes drivers to desperate actions. The driver must have thought if a snail can carry its shell, he could handle this load too. It looks like someone tried to pull a prank here. Even though lightning is a fairly common phenomenon, drivers still get shocked when it strikes nearby. Do you think this is a mistake, or will they actually manage to reach the shore? It's unlikely that they wrap this helicopter for disguise. Most likely it's to prevent damage during transportation. If something flies out of the back of a truck bed, following too closely behind is not the best idea. At times, the driver must feel like he's inside a washing machine. It feels like this road was specifically designed for shooting car commercials. That moment when your boss says that you must show up for work no matter what. He probably planned to clear out all the snow, but for now, this will have to do. Just a little more and whatever's inside is about to burst out. The driver of this car clearly doesn't let minor obstacles slow them down. Who needs horsepower when you can harness the strength of real animals? He was so focused on avoiding one disaster that he didn't notice another sneaking up on him.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Come on! Amy Jo, come inside.
It looks like these parents decided to take their baby out for a walk. A harsh but fair punishment for violating parking rules. He's definitely not in the running for Father of the Year. It's not so much about where he's going, but rather what kind of life situation led him to take this journey with that kind of baggage. If you ignore low tire pressure for too long, sooner or later you'll have to deal with the consequences. Of course, everyone has the right to choose their vehicle according to their own taste, but this probably wasn't quite what he had in mind. Some people choose very unusual ways to express their individuality. At first glance, when you see this car, it makes you feel like you're just imagining it. The owners have really taken care of their pet's comfort during the journey. He long ago figured out that instead of getting honked at, he could just lift the mood of the drivers behind him. This van is designed down to the smallest detail. Everyone has their own place. Who needs a truck when you have an old Volkswagen that can handle any challenge? Even the monkey seems to have noticed that this car's interior desperately needs cleaning. With such a fierce guard, it's definitely best to keep your distance. Some people go way overboard when trying to customize their cars and make them more unique. At least the driver doesn't have to worry about getting a fine for damaging other cars. Everyone involved in this transportation process definitely deserves a bonus. Do you think this car stands a chance, or will one pothole send it rolling down the hill? Looks like someone has been dreaming of a Mercedes for so long that they decided to manifest it in the most creative way possible. Seeing something like this on the street makes you question whether you're still in the 21st century. Their precious pony has secured a front row spot for the ultimate joyride. Maybe he's a businessman or an IT specialist on weekdays, but on weekends, he's fully dedicated to his passion. The truck driver was probably quite frustrated with the placement of that traffic light.
Holy fuck!
When you really want to get your child the perfect birthday gift, but still refuse to pay for delivery.
I just sent you a picture.
Welcome to Alana. Welcome to Alana.
Sometimes to keep moving forward, you have to dig deep, literally.
Before watching similar videos, it would be great to buy some sedative pills. One needs nerves of steel here.
Just imagine the water pressure here if it was strong enough to move an entire escalator. The actions of this Jeep driver could be considered attempted murder. Let's hope law enforcement was able to apprehend them. It may not be a snowplow, but it's still doing a pretty decent job. Even without questioning how she got into this situation, one has to wonder, why spend so much time struggling when the solution is right in front of her? Proof that some drivers never bother checking their mirrors.
What in the fuck, man?
The problem is, she seems to live by the motto, slow and steady wins the race.
Bekle. Gelme bekle.
Even the car seems to be enjoying the track playing on the radio. This is one of those cases where a delivery service guarantees fast shipping, but not necessarily the package's safety. Sometimes police officers have to get creative to solve a problem. The truck driver has already been fired, but the consequences of his work still haven't been dealt with. It's terrifying to even imagine what will happen when he needs to turn.
And we're moving on at the speed of light. All the most interesting things are still ahead.
Did they hear that a big sale just started at the nearest shopping mall? She's definitely proving wrong the stereotype that female drivers are the less aggressive ones on the road. This woman is determined to be a full-fledged part of traffic no matter what.
How many traffic out here? Well, ain't no way. Granny, what is you doing?
He just witnessed more than a simple Animal Crossing. This was a real fight for survival. Traffic jams happen for all sorts of reasons, but this is definitely one of the most unusual. You never know when the ground might just decide to disappear from under your feet. It's astonishing how, even after such a critical situation, the driver simply kept going as if nothing had happened. Is saving a few minutes really worth risking your life by driving into oncoming traffic? Someone has come up with a pretty clever way to recharge an electric car on a long journey. This isn't just snow removal, it's a real fairy tale archway for passing cars. Under what circumstances did he even manage to end up here? Someone clearly doesn't know how to learn from their mistakes. You wouldn't find this much fish per square meter even in the ocean, let alone on the road. The truck driver just grabbed one with his hands and took it into the cab. The men were trying to pull the car out of the ravine, but it looks like it only made things worse. This sudden durability test from a car could make an excellent ad for this skateboard brand. When you're on public transport, the last thing you expect to see outside the window is a tank test. This man and his dogs definitely understand what style and eccentricity is all about. Watching this video, with every passing second, you start wondering more and more, does this truck even have an end? Such a professional turn on such a narrow path over a cliff truly deserves respect. Looks like this man completely forgot that sometimes you need to watch where you're stepping. A very original runway at Sydney Airport built right above a roadway. I wonder what drivers feel as they pass under such a massive structure. If you thought no car could surprise you anymore, then you clearly haven't seen the shopping cart car. This driver has some serious ingenuity. Pulling off such maneuvers with two cars at once was extremely risky. A perfect day for an unexpected trip to the car wash. Their determination is impressive. Even after getting completely stuck in cement, they still believe they can get out the usual way. It's unlikely that the truck driver's insurance company will believe him when he says a helicopter took off right in the middle of the road and caused this damage.
Only day, baby. Only day.
Seriously, who needs trucks when you can transport everything on a simple skateboard? Human creativity knows no bounds. This homemade bike, crafted from whatever was available, is sure to amaze anyone passing by. Does anyone know what's actually happening in this video? At first glance, it might seem like the driver is just messing with others by driving so slowly, but in reality, this is a story of true heroism. Just look at how determined this young motorcyclist is to pull that huge car. The most important thing is that the driver keeps pressing the gas pedal no matter what. Everyone could use that kind of stress resistance. The rat couldn't afford a taxi fare, so it decided to hitch a ride quietly right on the hood. Sometimes you're so sleepy that it doesn't matter where you are, just as long as you can lie down. Looks like the guy on the motorcycle was deliberately trying to start a conflict. This car's shape is so unusual that you can barely even see the driver inside. If this were a chase scene, it would be the perfect way to escape from enemies. With a car like this, boredom is simply not an option. When transporting cargo openly, securing it properly plays the most crucial role. On one of the streets in San Francisco, someone crashed into a fire hydrant. Now every car in the area can forget about paying for a car wash anytime soon.
Yes. So we're on the crookedest street in San Francisco, allegedly.
Extra surveillance on the road never hurts. Someone tried to move all their belongings in one trip, but completely misjudged what their truck could handle. Turns out securing the cargo is just as important in the back as it is in the front. When your car looks like a rocket, it's no surprise you get pulled over for speeding. Quicksand truly looks terrifying. Maybe this car was transporting a lifetime supply of honey because all those bees gathered around it for a reason. That's some real acrobatics on an excavator, but when a true professional is behind the wheel, no task is too difficult. The weather can be unpredictable, so you should always be prepared for an ordinary trip to turn into an underwater adventure. Someone wanted to bring a bit of sunny vacation vibes into these gray, everyday surroundings. If you don't know about your problem, then you don't have any problems. Would you dare to take a ride like that? At first it might seem like an extremely slow drift, but in reality, that's just how this car always moves. How is this tiny car even managing to pull those two massive machines? Do you think he actually has a driver's license? It might look like the pickup driver has lost his mind, but in reality, he's maneuvering toward the truck to help it get unstuck.
If you haven't liked this episode yet, now is the best time to do it.
Not many people would want to find an uninvited passenger like this in their car. A small car doesn't mean defeat, especially when there's a real daredevil behind the wheel. This could have been a legendary movie scene, if only there weren't so many of them at once. A huge crowd has gathered to witness this spectacular show. Does the driver really know the road so well that even a windshield full of snow doesn't bother him? Now that's a true marvel of engineering. Would you like to take a ride on something like this? What's with this duck invasion around the car? What did the driver do to upset them? When someone desperately needs help, the car is ready to go, even if no one's behind the wheel. Nobody would want to break down in the middle of the northern regions. Meanwhile, these polar bears have already claimed the car as their own. This guy is definitely not the person you'd want to transport valuable cargo. In this case, all you can do is wish him luck. Yeah, this was definitely not the best time to roll down the window. If Disney princesses lived in today's world, their wedding might look exactly like this. A rather unusual way to turn a 4-seater car into an 8-seater. The wheels on this car have a mind of their own, literally. Now that's real confidence. Even when jaywalking, this granny still dares to scold the drivers. After watching Final Destination, scenes like this feel way more terrifying. The GPS promised a fast, traffic-free route, but it certainly didn't warn that up ahead was a scene straight out of an action movie. Now the main goal for drivers is to stay safe and avoid becoming part of the chaos. Some road obstacles can be predicted, but certain landmarks don't show up on navigation apps. When a driver gets too distracted by what's on the roadside, they risk missing the most important thing, the road ahead. It seemed like an ordinary evening, an ordinary road, but no, sometimes even stopping at a traffic light turns into an unexpected adventure. You have to admit they're crossing the road in a much more organized way than some school children.
Montreal today,
Look at the cars. We don't even see them. Look at that. I don't know.
Like, you're seriously not getting up. Is it stuck?
When an obstacle suddenly appears on the highway, everything depends on the driver's reaction. But what if the situation gets out of control? A road isn't a runway, but some pedestrians behave as if it is. Fortunately, the driver managed to stop in time and prevent a tragedy. Passing by them at night is probably quite eerie. When you're just on your way somewhere but suddenly find yourself in the middle of an action scene straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. With such a great owner, this dog is definitely living his best life. When transporting cargo of this scale, everyone on the road is probably on high alert. Who said trucking is easy? Sometimes you have to use every possible resource to get the job done. Is parking really so bad here that they needed this many signs?
Hey, you can't park there. No parking, no parking, no parking, no parking, no parking, no parking, no parking. No parking, no parking, no parking, no parking, no parking.
The person behind the wheel clearly has no concept of personal space.